is time for another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show, your mom's favorite podcast.
I like that.
Hope all the moms out there had a fantastic Mother's Day. Yesterday had some pretty decent weather for the first time in a while, so hope everyone was able to celebrate their mother yesterday. How you doing tonight there, T-Dog?
I'm doing well, Jay, man. Had my first action on a golf course other than driving range all year today. Played a golf outing for work, so that's why I got a little sun. I can feel I'm a little red, but had a good time.
How'd it go?
I hit it really well today.
Really?
Putting, not so much. We all struggled with the putting. We played at Swan Lake Resort in Plymouth.
Nice.
And we always struggle putting there. But no, I was fairly pleased and fairly happy with the way I hit the ball today. So
nice.
wasn't near as ugly as I anticipated it being. But still some room for improvement.
Is this the latest in the year that you've gone out for the first time in a long time?
I think so. But yeah, I was able to get to the driving range a couple times last week knowing my outing was coming up today, but had not been able to get a round of 9 or 18 under my belt anywhere. So hitting out of the rough, a little different today than hitting off a perfect lie off the driving range. Sure. But It was still fun, beautiful weather, good cause. The Cultivate Golf outing, they always do a good job there. Is big outing. Swan Lake has 2 courses of 18 holes, so that's 36 holes, and they had 2 teams per hole. So a lot of people to play, but yeah, good time. But doing well today. Ready to talk some sports with you tonight, and like you said, happy late Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and hope everybody had a good day yesterday. So,
yes, sir.
With all that said, I got some birdie or bogey ready for you. Let's see here. It's MLB related. So Zach Greinke, he struck out Joey Weimer to end the 5th inning over the weekend in the start. He was the 1,000th different batter Greinke has struck out in his career. He's the 5th player ever to do that according to the MLB. Name the other 4.
Oh man, struck out 1,000 different batters. Huh?
I'll say you get 3 for a par. 4 for a birdie. I'll give you a par scenario this week.
It's a good one. I did see that he did that, but I did not see the trivia question of who the other guys were. So I'd be very happy with a par tonight, but the likelihood I get a par is probably
I don't know.
Probably got a decent shot at a par.
Yeah, I think you got a decent shot at par, and you are 1 stroke up for the season standings as I got a bogey last week. I was trying to find an NBA question, but I couldn't find anything good. So.
By Arlington Public House. Arlington Public House has upscale cuisine and cocktails with a casual atmosphere. Located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. Over the weekend, their special was coconut curry halibut. Halibut fillet poached in a bright and creamy coconut curry sauce on a bed of snow peas. This dish is finished with a drizzle of coconut milk pickled. I don't even know why I'm giving you the specials because it's probably not even going to be special this upcoming weekend. But it was their special over the weekend, so you got stuff to look forward to because you never know what they're going to roll out each weekend, and it's always looking pretty dang good.
Well, and I think it's fine that you still read the special, even though it's already happened, because it gives our viewers and listeners an idea of some of the cuisine they offer.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Mm-hmm. That is right. Get your veggies. I miss that.
They still do got veggies. They got veggies with all their plates there, so you can still go there and get some fresh veggies and
bring it back about once a month.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody that is watching live on episode 33 of the Tan and J-Man Show, live tonight on the ISC Sports Network, on the ISC Sports Network YouTube page, on the Tan and J-Man Show Facebook page, and the ISC Sports Network Twitter page. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who's listening on your favorite podcast platform, if you're doing so in future tense on May 16th on Tuesday morning when it drops. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the review, do all those things. follows, do all those things. Not only to us, but the ISC Sports Network as well. So really appreciate it. What are we starting off tonight with, J-Man?
All is in your court.
No, it was on my court last week, so it's in your court.
Do you want to talk NFL schedule?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the schedule was released on Thursday last week, and some interesting matchups. You knew the typical teams were going to get a bunch of the primetime games. The Cowboys are going to get them. The NFC East as a whole they're going to get primetime games. But then you also have the defending Super Bowl champs like the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you have the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals. You knew they were all going to get a bunch. The Detroit Lions somehow got 4.
NFL's liking the hype, man.
I don't see I don't understand the hype, I should say. I know they played really well at the end of the year, but how often have we seen teams play really well at the end of the year and then it just not carry over? I don't buy the hype on the Lions. Don't buy the hype. Maybe I'm too close to Chicago that I'm not buying the hype with the Bears. At least the Bears fans anyway.
I don't think it's always just the hype with Chicago. Chicago got quite a few primetime games last year. I think it's just the market.
Yeah, it's ratings. Yeah, absolutely. Which that makes sense, and that's why Green Bay got as many as they did as well. Because I don't think many people think they'll be very good. Especially losing Aaron Rodgers. You knew the Jets were going to get a bunch with Aaron Rodgers coming there, and it's a New York market. And then of course you have the teams that made the playoffs last year that are supposed to be pretty good. They got a decent amount. Giants got a decent amount. Dolphins I think got 3 or 4. I'm sure the Chargers had some. Jacksonville.
The AFC West, all the AFC West had quite a bit.
Yeah. And the Raiders are kind of in the same boat as like the Bears. Team that this could be okay, not going to be great, but again, Raiders draw a bunch of ratings, so you knew they were going to get them. Chargers actually had 6 primetime games. Yeah. Looks like Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, and Cowboys had 6. All good teams. Surprised the Chargers got that many. The one thing that kind of annoys me with the Chargers and Justin Herbert is not as many people talk about them blowing a 28-point lead in the playoffs. Like they should be. If that was that, there's always comparisons between Tua and Herbert, but if Tua would have done that, they would have been he would have been crucified in the media. Haven't barely heard a word about Justin Herbert blowing that game. Anyway, that's my Justin Herbert rant.
I don't like the Chargers, so I'm right there with you
for the week. Chargers have become a big draw because of Justin Herbert, and they should be pretty good. Of course, the Bills, of course, the Chiefs. The 4 teams that did not. Can you guess the 4 teams that have 0?
Well, I know the Colts are one, which really surprised me. I figured they'd at least get a Thursday night game. Colts didn't. Houston, I'm guessing.
Houston's another one.
I have not seen these, so I'm just guessing. Who else isn't very attractive? Atlanta?
Atlanta's another one. Yep, we got 3 of the 4 so far.
Who's the 4th? I feel like Carolina got one. Who? Browns?
Nope, Browns must have one. This is kind of an interesting one, but at the same time, it's really not because they are projected to be probably the number 1 overall pick. But the past couple of years have been projected to be pretty good. Arizona Cardinals.
I figured they would just because even though he's got to be injured probably to start the season, Kyler Murray effect. I thought,
right.
I thought they would at least get one because of him. But
yeah, we have made it well known our dislike for Kyler Murray, and I personally don't think
correct.
He's very good. But correct. Again,
but he's one of those players that people are entertained by watching him, I guess. Sure. The style of street ball, I guess you can call it.
Yeah. Plays. And they do kind of schedule it because he's a $100 million man and he plays quarterback position. So if you're a high priced quarterback, you're probably going to get a primetime game. But again, he could miss the whole year.
Right.
And they might as well keep him out for the whole year because that team is going to be terrible. I don't even know who their projected starter is right now. Is it David Blau? Is he the projected starter right now?
Is it McCoy or Blau, maybe?
Could probably Colt McCoy if he's still there.
Assuming
Unless
Colt
they picked
McCoy's
up
still there,
somebody
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Any other schedule thoughts? I haven't really.
I was
looked
really
at the schedules a little bit, but
I was really surprised the Broncos got 4 primetime games. I was gonna guess 2, maybe 3 max, because I thought the Sean Payton effect might give them another one. But they got a Thursday, a Sunday, a Monday, and a Christmas Eve night game, which is on the NFL Network. I guess that's the 4th. They got a Thursday night game on the road to Arrowhead, which they play the Chiefs. At least one of the 2 matchups is always prime time, it seems like. They got a Sunday night home game against the Vikings, which is an interesting one. They got a Monday night game on the road at Buffalo. Not looking forward to that. And then the Christmas Eve night game at New England. So interesting. I still think even with the bad season last year, Russell Wilson attracts some eyeballs. And like I said, Sean Payton, I think, helped
Sean Payton for
probably
sure.
get one.
Yeah, the Thursday nights are interesting because they are technically prime time.
Yes.
But I don't even view them as primetime games,
No.
which is, because the games usually aren't that good.
They weren't last year.
They were terrible last year. The first Black Friday game will be played Dolphins-Jets in New York, so that is an interesting one. And I'm glad they're putting games on Black Friday, though it does kind of take away from college football a little bit because you do have some college football matchups that day. But before we know it, I think the NFL is going to be 7 days a week.
They're the kings of sports world. I mean,
For sure.
just money maker.
Yeah. Did you see today it was announced that Peacock, I'm going to bring it up here real quick so I don't.
I did not
screw
see
up
this, so
I just saw it. It was probably an hour ago I saw it. The NFL announced that Peacock will be home for the first ever exclusive live-streamed NFL playoff game. The NFL Wildcard Playoff in primetime on Saturday, January 13th. So that will be the exclusive. It won't be on NBC. It will only be on Peacock, which is interesting. It was a 1-year deal, $110 million for one game.
that doesn't shock me. I know they've tried different things with that wild card. ABC got it a few years ago for the first time in a long time, and they've tried things with Amazon Prime on the Thursday nights. Things are going towards the streaming. I mean, the NFL Sunday Ticket now has a deal with YouTube TV for current subscribers and non-current subscribers, which I think is great. Get away from DirecTV. That's should have been done years ago. I still wish you could have a package of just one team, and it could be cheaper. But
I was just about to say that.
Don't know if they do that. Maybe someday. But I think a lot of people have wanted that for years. But at least we're getting in the right direction there with YouTube TV, in my opinion. But no, I did not see that news about Peacock, but that doesn't shock me. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Peacock's really pushing stuff. Notre Dame's got a game a year on there. We're going to see Big Ten games on Peacock with the new NBC, Fox, and CBS deal, which I'm really excited about. It's still weird to hear the CBS college football music with the Big Ten logos, but we'll all get used to it, I think. I think we're really going to enjoy those triple headers. The Fox noon to 3:30 CBS, then the night NBC game come fall. That's going to be fun. But I didn't see that, so that's interesting.
Yeah. That just proves the NFL's king. It's a 1-year deal worth $110 million.
Another thing with NFL schedule release, as a guy who works in marketing for a living, I always enjoy how the social media teams go about their schedule releases. And I checked out a few teams. I thought some did a lot better than others. I think the Tennessee Titans might have won it this year, in my opinion.
That was a good
one. Asking people on Broadway, quote unquote fans, I don't know, some might have been plants, what the logos were, and they were all wrong, and it was pretty good stuff. I like the Broncos one. Of course, I'm a fan of The Office, as are you. So I liked that this year. They did a little Office spoof with Peyton Manning involved and Angela off The Office involved with Broncos mascot. And you also had cameos from Meredith and Creed. That was pretty fun. And then at the end, it was an Excel spreadsheet with the Broncos schedule on it. That was kind of cool. And they did a parkour blooper reel too. That was kind of neat. Yeah, but so I always like to see the creativity of the social media teams. That's kind of one thing I look forward to. And I thought they did a good job. There wasn't too many leaks this year.
No. I mean, there's always so many rumors, and
yes.
A lot. There were some Dolphins rumors that ended up being true, like the Dolphins were going to play in LA on a Sunday night, I think week 2. No, in New England Sunday night, week 2. And then in Philadelphia Sunday night, which usually the primetime games are the ones that's leaking. So that makes sense. But besides that, I didn't really see any leaks whatsoever.
I did, and you said Dolphins. That sparked my memory. I did right away when I got the Broncos schedule, check 3 games just from a weather standpoint. I was a little bummed to see out Miami week 3. I was hoping that was later in the season. I was excited to see week 4 at Chicago. Get that out of the way early so you don't have cold. Week 10 at Buffalo could be worse, I guess, but that'll probably be a little chilly. But those were the 3 right away I looked for.
Yeah.
So
it's all the whining that the Bills and their fans did about having to play in Miami week 2 with how hot it was and how exhausted they were. And then the Dolphins complained because they were getting ice balls thrown at them in December. Right. So this year the NFL scheduled, I think the Dolphins play in Buffalo in October, and Buffalo plays in Miami week 17. So all's well that ends well, I guess. All the complaining, the NFL listened.
And you can only complain so much when you're playing division rivals. I feel like, you play them twice a year, and so some years that's probably got to line up and happen. I mean, it feels like Denver plays at Arrowhead every year in December. Not that it matters. They've lost to them a billion straight times. But yeah, no, it was all good. And now we know who's playing who and when, and get on to the next step of the off season, which got rookie camps going on right now. So
yeah. Speaking of mini camps, I saw a video clip of Bryce. Is it Bryce Young? Let's see. I always get him and Bryce Love mixed up.
Yes, Bryce Young. Yeah.
Just taking a snap and kind of doing a little walk-through rollout, and then he just kind of threw it for fun. And that thing got like over 2 million views.
It's
so
crazy.
Once again, the NFL is king. But I will say Young looked so small out there. Like incredibly small, how short he was out there, which obviously they're not. I mean, we've seen some short quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, have Hall of Fame careers, but those guys were a little bigger, it feels like, than Bryce Young is. So it'll be interesting. And it sounds like Andy Dalton's going to take first string reps to start.
Andy, man, he's going to end up starting for as many teams as Vinny Testaverde by the time he hangs it up.
Yeah.
Man, I saw not one like that. Will Levis throwing a few passes, and Titan fans were just gushing about his release. And one Titan fan that follow on Twitter is a big Tennessee Volunteer fan, of course. He goes, maybe Will Levis didn't suck. Maybe it's Kentucky sucked after all. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
But you gotta love it when and the Titans aren't a bad franchise. Don't get me wrong, but the franchises like the Panthers who have been bad in the last few years. You got something to get excited about, you think. So, totally get it. Colt fans, they keep being split. Ones I ask if they like the Richardson pick. I'll ask one, they like it. I ask another, they don't. So,
yeah, NFL's king. After watching baseball here the past 3 weeks, I am ready for football season already.
Well, I think St. Louis Cardinal fans are right there with you, J-Man. Even though they did get the upper hand on the Cubs. So.
Yeah, they've won 5 of their last 6, and in that division, they're probably only like 2 games out now. So.
Well, let's talk about baseball. You're talking about baseball. Let's go right into it.
Baseball, yeah. Cubs are playing some really bad baseball right now. Pretty frustrated with them. This team should be a lot better than what they.
Now, let me pull up some J-Man tweets.
Feels like I really haven't tweeted that much. I still haven't tweeted that much.
I saw some good ones the other day.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to share.
I'm
this
exact
exact reason why, even when they were good earlier in the year, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to say they're good because I just felt like it was going to come crashing down back down to earth, and it certainly has. Offense has slowed down. I mean, you look at their numbers though; they're still first in the National League on base percentage somehow. They're fourth in runs scored, but a lot of that has been elevated by a 3-game series in Oakland a few weeks ago, where they just lit the world on fire. Pitching hasn't been good. Marcus Stroman was terrible yesterday. Hayden Wesneski was terrible on Saturday, and he just got sent down today. Jameson Taillon hasn't been good. Their bullpen's been abysmal. Boxberger and Fulmer, they're two veteran guys they signed to be their back end of the bullpen have been, for the most part, terrible. Fulmer, his numbers are better, or his numbers are worse than he's actually looked, and his peripherals look pretty good. But Boxberger's been horrendous. Keegan Thompson hasn't been that good. Alzolai's been pretty good. Mark Leiter Jr. has been good. But other than that, they just haven't played good baseball. Offensively, it's poor lineup construction for one from David Ross, and it's getting to the point where I'm ready for them to move on from him.
I got a couple tweets in the holster here that you back that point up.
He was hired, with his buddies were still on the team, and they thought he could take him to the next level. But now they're in this rebuilding period, and he hasn't proven that he can be the guy to take them to the next level. And having guys like Eric Hosmer still play a bunch. You have Nick Madrigal leading off. Madrigal's been one of the worst hitters in all of baseball this year, and he's leading them off. It's poor lineup construction. It's poor roster construction by Jed Hoyer as well, in my opinion. But some of the young guys have come up. Matt Mervis has come up, and he's kind of struggled so far. But again, you kind of have to let him play through it. Christopher Morel has come up and has lit the world on fire. Should have been up a long time ago, finally getting a shot again. But right when he comes up, Nico Horner gets hurt. So arguably one of their top 2 or 3 players is now on the injured list, hopefully back on Friday. But you look at the schedule, they have Houston for 3 in Houston. They have at Philadelphia. They have Tampa Bay. I mean, by the beginning of June, it feels like they're going to be 10 games under 500 and one of the worst teams in the National League once again. And if that were to be the case, I would clean house. It's clearly not working.
Let's read some J-Man Cup tweets, shall we? May 9th, David Ross really sucks at his job. So does Jed Hoyer, by the way. May 10th, ban all umpires. May 10th, keeping Morel, is that how you pronounce it, Morel?
Mm-hmm.
Down in AAA for as long as Jed did should be considered treason. May 12th, ban all umpires. Then he said, ban this entire crew. 1.5 innings in, and they're the worst I've seen this year.
It was true. They were bad.
Had some positive ones, and then
positive ones aren't.
May 12th, if they send him back down, I will burn Jed Hoyer's house to the ground. And then your latest tweet, May 14th, is getting time for David Ross to go.
Yeah, it's reached that point where obviously they're going to let him play out the year, but if they finish under 500, I don't see any scenario where it would be smart to bring him back. This is now 4 years, and outside of his first 16 games, his manager, he's been one of the worst, has one of the worst records of any manager in baseball. Started 13-3 in that COVID 2020 year, but since then it's just been, for the most part, trash. So he's good with the media, good guy, but it's not working. And
you had a response to that, getting time for David Ross to go, by Janice Gemma. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name there, Janice. Let's see if he leaves him in as long as Wesneski yesterday. Oh my God, he actually pulled the hook since Stroman isn't fooling anyone and the Cubs bats are still silent.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, he left Wesneski in there to get absolutely shellacked. Then,
what a word.
Stroman wasn't much better yesterday. But Cubs, I mean, that division is so terrible. They're still only 4 games out, but right on their heels are the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Cincinnati Reds.
They're 5 games out. Cardinals have started playing better baseball. They're 7.5 games out. And, all that talk about the St. Louis Cardinals demoting Wilson Contreras to DH duties only. Took them a week before they changed their mind, and now he is their full-time starting catcher again. there in St. Louis. So I don't know what's changed there. Unfortunately for the other teams in the NL Central, they had their opportunities to really separate from the St. Louis Cardinals, and they haven't done it. And the Cardinals are still kind of, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning the division by the end of it. They're too talented not to. But the Cincinnati Reds are the only team in the NL Central to have a winning record over their last 10 games, and they are playing some pretty good baseball. They're kind of hanging in there. It's still real early, only 40 games in, but they have won. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 6-4 over their last 10, so it's not that great of a record. But in the NL Central, that is good. But the Reds did just call up one of their top prospects today, Matt McClain. He is I think he's a middle infielder, first round pick a few years ago out of UCLA. He plays short, having a good, real good year down AAA. 38 games, he's hit 12 homers, hitting 348. So at least the Reds have something to look forward to, unlike the Chicago Cubs right now. But that's probably just me being whiny because it's been a rough stretch of baseball since they started out hot, but not as bad as what the Pittsburgh Pirates are doing right now. They have lost. They've lost a bunch here the past few weeks, and you knew it'd come crashing down. They have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They are 2-11 over their last 13 games, which they went from 20-8 all the way to 22-19. Somehow they only lost 3 games in the standings. They're only a game and a half behind the Milwaukee Brewers because, again, that division is so bad.
It's not a good division.
It's terrible. The other Central Division is probably just
man. Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins are winning that division at 23-18. Cleveland Guardians are 19-21, 3.5.
Hey, you got it right.
I almost said Indians. I was so close to saying Indians off the tip of my tongue. Detroit Tigers are 4 games out, 18-21. White Sox are getting doubled up. They are 14-28.
They are just
9.5 games out. They just lost the series to the Kansas City Royals, who are 12-30. The White Sox fans, I would say I feel bad for you, but I really don't at all. It's kind of funny to me because a lot of White Sox fans made fun of the Cubs so much and how their core only went to the playoffs 4 times. They went 4 times. Their core did 5 times to the playoffs and won 1 World Series. And White Sox fans were making fun of them. Well, look at their core now. Their window of opportunity was clearly so small that now they are 14-28 just a few years later. So it does not break my heart to see the White Sox play terrible baseball here, especially when I live on the south side of Chicago. I'm not south side Chicago, I will say.
South suburbs.
South suburbs of Chicago, where I would say it's probably 60-40 White Sox fans to Cubs fans down here. But American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays split with the New York Yankees.
That was a crazy series.
Yeah. Yankees had 2 comebacks of 6 runs or more, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Bow had one yesterday. Not 6 runs or more, but Bow had to come back yesterday. And Rizzo keeps hitting well at home. Man.
Yeah, you look at his numbers on the road. I'm going to go bring him up right now because I saw him the other day. I'm like, this is not sustainable at all.
No.
But, hey, he's perfect for that ballpark, I will say.
Bobblehead day yesterday, I believe. It was Anthony Rizzo bobblehead day yesterday. I saw that.
I'm going to not get one of those. Still, that I was literally talking to my dad over the weekend. I'm like, there's not really only one of those guys that was traded away that's still painful. That's Anthony Rizzo, because I thought he was going to be there forever.
Yeah.
On the road, Anthony Rizzo's hitting .222 with a .310 on base and a .302 slugging. That is horrendous. They've played 25 home games, only 16 games on the road, so I could feel his numbers turning around here a little bit. But at home, he's hitting .374, 8 homers, .453 on base, .681 slugging. Play half your games at home, though, so if he keeps those numbers up, his overall numbers will look real good. Yankees have started playing some better baseball. It was helped by the Oakland A's because the Oakland A's have helped pretty much every team out so far.
They are so bad.
Yeah, bottom 5 team, I think, of our lifetimes, and I'm not even being hyperbolic. I wouldn't even think.
You've thrown some big words out today, my friend.
Yeah, I'm a big brained man. uh, Aaron Judge is back for the Yankees.
Yep,
They obviously need him to be really good in order to be good.
he's back and
But
he's hitting bombs again.
he is. Giancarlo Stanton, if he plays more than 30 games a year the rest of his career, it'll be a shock to all of us because he just doesn't play.
Nah, he's made of glass. He's made it like Anthony Davis says. Aaron Judge has now hit 29 multi-homer games. That's fifth all time as a Yankee with Alex Rodriguez. Those who have hit more: Joe DiMaggio 35, Lou Gehrig 43, Mickey Mantle 46, and Babe Ruth 68.
It's pretty good company.
Yeah, not bad. I would not have guessed Joe DiMaggio had 35 multi-homer games as a Yankee.
Joe DiMaggio hit a lot of homers for him.
I know. That surprised
Good
me.
old, whenever I think of Joe DiMaggio, there's one guy I think of.
Who's that?
Kramer.
Kramer?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't have much to add on the Yankees. I've been a really bad Yankee fan. I have not watched much Yankee baseball at all this year. So
The Rays are still 31-11, but man, right on their heels, Baltimore Orioles 26.
baby birds.
They are playing some good baseball, and people are still not showing up at Camden Yards, and it's kind of annoying because you have
Baltimore's a
arguably,
weird sports town.
it really is. It's a football town for sure.
It is, but
First and foremost. But when the Orioles were good here 5 to 8 years ago, they showed up. But I don't know if they're not buying this team yet. They have one of the best, if not the best, young catcher in all of baseball, Adley Rutschman. I would say he's definitely the best young catcher in baseball. He might even be the best overall catcher already. He's been fantastic. Gunnar Henderson's kind of struggled. He was their other top prospect, but Cedric Mullins just hit for the cycle the other day. They have a really good collection of young talent there, and their pitching has been all their pitching needs to do is be okay, which it has been. It's kind of middle of the pack in the American League, but they'll score runs, and it is proven effective so far as they are 26-14. Toronto Blue Jays are hanging in there as well at 24-16. The Boston, that's the best division in baseball. We talk about the bad divisions, both central divisions. Everyone in the AL East is at least 3 games over 500. The Boston Red Sox, they did just get swept by the St. Louis Cardinals, and I think the Red Sox will ultimately end up kind of falling back a little bit, but they've hung in there as well. The AL West, Texas Rangers playing some good baseball, 10 games over 500. Houston Astros are right there. Angels, Mariners still in it. And then you have the Oakland A's, who are 9-33.
Just move to Las Vegas. Just do it.
They did close on a site today to build a 30,000 seat stadium, which 30,000 for athletics, it's pretty good. So that's pretty smart to keep it a little smaller. But 9-33, they are 17 games out already, and we're only on May 16th. One of the worst starts ever. They are on pace. Let's see what they're on pace to be. I hope it gives their on pace record. Their run differential, they've scored 159 runs. They've given up 316. So that is 167. They're minus 167 run differential, which is pathetic. I don't even want to do the math on what they're on pace for their record to be, but bad team. Once again, the Dodgers are the best team in the National League West. The Padres have talked a lot. They spent a lot of money, but
we picked them. We picked them to win it all, both of us.
I don't understand it either. You have Fernando Tatis Jr. back. You have Juan Soto. You have Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts.
Is it a managerial problem?
Their manager's Bob Melvin. He's been very good for a long time too. Pitching, you look at their pitching is pretty good. Darvish, Snell, Ryan Weathers has been good. Josh Hader's been great back into the bullpen. Now they have Joe Musgrove back, and that will help. But something's amiss there.
Maybe too many egos.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But it seems like that wouldn't be as much of an issue in baseball, because it's kind of an individual / team sport.
Yeah,
but
that's a good way to
more
put
of an individual sport than it is.
Yeah.
anything. So it's kind of a conundrum there.
Another
But
big word. Look at these words. You must have this like a tally or something. You're trying to. That was still one of the best 10 J-Man Show segments ever.
that was a fun one. That was a fun one. We need to bring that one back. And then in the NL East, yeah, that's a really good one, and I still don't really know what it means. I think it means a little off center, maybe. Cattywampus.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual definition of that is.
I'll look it up as you're talking baseball.
NL East, Braves 10 games over 500. Phillies are 5 games out. Marlins 5.5. Mets 5.5. Mets have really struggled scoring runs here, and they're high price free agents like Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander are back now. Scherzer, I guess Scherzer's been pretty much healthy all year, but Verlander's back and he's had 2 good starts so far. But Mets are really struggling to score runs. They are 13th in the National League in slugging percentage, 13th in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage. Pete Alonso's hitting homers, but he's kind of slowed down doing that. Lindor's not having a great start to the year. Brandon Nimmo's been good. Dan Vogelbach's been pretty good. But other than that, it's been hasn't been a very good start to the year for the New York Mets, which I know neither of us are too upset about. But I think that's going to do it for my baseball talk this week. I haven't really seen anything on the Twitter that I want to share at all. So, yeah.
Cattywampus is a variant of catawampus, another example of grand 19th century American slang. In addition to askew, cattywampus may refer to an imaginary fierce wild animal or may mean savage, destructive.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I don't even know how to use that in a sentence, but
nope. Me neither. But I know we got on this day to talk about Word Association and NBA playoffs. But before that, I want to make sure I get a little golf talk in this week, as this week is the week of the second major out of 4 for the year. The PGA Championship is played this week. Kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. I kind of forgot about it until today. It's played at Oak Hill, which is a golf course in Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma. I think I just know it's not Oklahoma. It is, now I got to look it up because it is not Oklahoma. I'm thinking of a Oak Hill Country Club is in Rochester, New York. Not even close to Oklahoma. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it looks like Rochester, New York. Yeah. So the top 100 players in the world all on the field this week for the PGA Championship. So really good field. Your betting favorite out in Vegas, you have 2 of them. Scotty Scheffler and Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm is the winner of the first major of the year in the Masters. Scotty Scheffler won the Masters last year, won multiple tournaments last year, played really well over the weekend at the Byron Nelson, even though Jason Day won his first tournament since 2018 yesterday. Wow. So good for him. It was crazy. They showed his family. It's crazy to see how much Dash Day has grown. I just remember him being a little guy. They would always show on camera. Now he's not so little anymore. Your boy Rory McIlroy's 3rd in betting odds. Live Tours Brooks Koepka's 4th. Justin Thomas rounds out as 5th. Then you got Patrick Cantlay, Dustin Johnson, who was a winner on the Live Tour yesterday. And Jason Day's right there with Dustin, so they think he's going to be in the mix. He is a PGA champion, PGA Championship champion. Phil Mickelson's a massive underdog. First PGA Championship he's played in since he won it in Kiowa Island in 2021. Because if you remember, he set last year's out PGA Championship. He was all that controversy with what he said about Saudis and this and that. But no Tiger Woods in the field. That should be noted. I don't know when the next time we'll see Tiger. He's only on a 4 to 6 tournament schedule. But Tiger's caddy is now on the bag with Patrick Cantlay. So Tiger, when he asked Tiger for permission, Tiger said, absolutely. Go win some tournaments, have fun. So Tiger's always been good about that with his caddies. If he's not playing, if they want to get on the bag for somebody else while he's out and make some money, he doesn't mind them doing so. So after Jason Day, you have Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, right there at 22 to 1 odds. Tony Finau, Cameron Young, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth, Max Homa, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Cameron Smith. Down at 65 to 1 odds, you got Ricky Fowler. Down 65 to 1 odds. I am going on record. Ricky will get a top 20 finish this week. I'm booking it. I'm feeling good about it. Top 20. Plays well usually in the majors. Not saying he's going to win it or anything, but first major he's played in since last year's. I think he was in the Open Championship last year. He was in the PGA Open last year, but I think he'll play well. He's top 50 in the world now, so I think he'll play well. Who's your pick for this week's PGA Championship? Since you didn't even know it was going on until today.
I didn't even know what's going on. This will be the J-Man's booking prediction of the week. Rory's getting it done. You can book it.
Hey, his last major he won 9 years ago was a PGA Championship. 9 years ago. It's crazy.
J-Man's booking prediction of the week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com. I saw actually a TikTok video of Tiger. He was kind of mic'd up. I don't know when it was, but he said, yeah, Charlie outdrove me for the first time this past week, and the only reason why is because I had some terrible shot into the woods. He of course didn't give his son credit, but he goes, Charlie is really hell bent on beating me by the time he turns 15, which would be absurd.
I think Charlie's gonna be pretty good, but he's got the biggest shoes to fill that any son of any athlete ever has ever tried to fill. Jack Nicklaus' son Jackie didn't make it too far. So that'd be an interesting conversation sometime. We should bring up athletes trying. Jeffrey Jordan, he played for the Fighting Illini, but he didn't fill Michael's shoes.
Forgot about Jeffrey. Holy cow.
But my pick for this week, part of me wanted to go with a live golf guy. I've been watching some more live golf on the CW. Interesting presentation. It's interesting.
I heard they kicked it off for some episodes of the Goldberg.
Yeah, my dad was not very happy because there was a 3-way tie with 2 holes to go. And they went to their standard program. I'm like, they got to fix that. That should not be happening. Yeah, for sure. But I am going to go with a PGA Tour guy, but he would be a first-time major winner. That's former Oklahoma State Cowboy Victor Hovland. Played pretty good at the Masters. I feel like his time's coming soon, and why not this week? So I'm picking Victor Hovland. But plenty of guys on there. Huge field, like I said, top 100 in the world. It should be a good one to watch. And then next month we'll have the U.S. Open on Father's Day weekend, and then we'll have the Open Championship in July, and then major season will be over already. But speaking of live golf a little more, watching a few tournaments that I have, there are aspects I really like about it. Other aspects not so much. I like the shotgun start, which if you're not a golfer and don't know what shotgun start is, that means everybody starts at the same time, just on different holes.
That's cool.
So whereas the PGA Tour is threesome or twosome, by threesome or twosome, all starting on the same hole, 5-10 minutes apart, whatever it is. So I like that because that guarantees you, no matter what hole you're going to be on, you're going to see some good golfers. I'm not so sure about the music playing the whole time. It's more of a party atmosphere. I'm sure our generation could get more accustomed to it than the older generation. The team aspect of Live's interesting too, because you have an individual winner every week and a team winner, because each team has 4 golfers per team, and they all have different names and everything, and they're picked at the start of the year. Some are the same as last year, some not. So when you're watching Live, you have an individual leaderboard followed by right under it a team leaderboard. And if you pick up on a Live tournament mid-round, it's confusing because things are shifting and blinking and going all over the place. But I thought my dad brought up a good point when I was talking to him about the team aspect. He goes, if a guy's 10 under par going into the third round, because they only play 3 rounds in Live, they don't play 4. They play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If a guy is 10 under and then you got a guy like 5 over par, the team aspect at least makes him want to try on Sunday, because he doesn't want to let his team down, because they get a pretty good profit too. And the winners get like $3 or $4 million a tournament, and the team gets pretty good profit too. So that part I do like, but I don't see the PGA Tour ever adopting anything like a team. But I wish the PGA Tour would adopt a shotgun start. Maybe not. I still like the 72-hole format instead of the 54, and the Live doesn't have cuts. That's why they do a 54-hole tournament without cuts. But they do have to figure out going forward how to get the world rankings on Live Golf, or there's going to be a lot of good, talented players not in major tournaments.
Yeah.
Because really, the Brooks Koepkas, Phil Mickelsons, Dustin Johnsons, they're good to go. They've won majors. They're in the majors for a long time. But some of the other guys, they might be good this year or next year, but after that, unless they win one, they might not be back. So I think they got to figure that out. But other than that, I think competition's good for the world of golf, and it gives everybody another option to watch. That's just my personal opinion. I know it hasn't worked for other big major league sports organizations and leagues, but maybe it'll work for golf. But there's some things that have to be buttoned up. So but that's all I got for the golf talk. I just want to make sure I got that in there before we hit the hour mark.
I have some word association here. I actually did this last week, so I thought I was doing word association last week, and you told me no. I actually had,
I stole it from you.
So it had a Kentucky feel to it because the Kentucky Derby was played. So I just chose some random athletes that were born in Kentucky, starting with Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey, one of my favorite all-time football players. I couldn't told you he was born in Kentucky. I figured he was born in Georgia, where he went to college.
I should have put where they were born at. So my humblest of apologies. He was actually born in Folkston, Georgia. Never mind. Where did I get this list from?
I was gonna say
no. Sorry, he went to high school in Folkston, Georgia. He was born in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay, all right. I knew he was because I thought he was from Georgia. So okay.
Yeah, I knew he was born in Kentucky.
Champ, one of the greatest cornerbacks in NFL history. Was a good Redskin. People forget that before he was traded for Clinton Portis. That was one of the bigger NFL trades you'll see for player. You use it because Clinton Portis was a dude back then for the Broncos.
Barely see player for player anymore.
Yeah, and they traded for each other, and it worked out better for the Broncos than it did for the Redskins. But Hall of Famer and one of my favorites to this day.
David Akers,
great kicker, long time for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just Mr. Consistent, good cold weather kicker. Once again, I'm going to learn a lot because I didn't know he was born in Kentucky.
Sean Alexander.
I went to Alabama. Was really good for the Seahawks. Graced the Madden 06 cover, I believe it was. Was one of the better running backs for a good 4 or 5 year stretch, and then kind of fell off. But he was part of that Seahawks team that lost to the Steelers to Super Bowl 40. But that's really when the Seahawks became good in our lifetime.
Phil Simms.
I'm not a fan. Good New York Giants quarterback, but not a fan of his commentary and never liked his analysis on the Showtime NFL show Inside the NFL. But, yeah.
One last football guy here, Paul Hornung.
I don't have much on him.
Wasn't he a Notre Dame guy?
I think you're right. He just passed away, I think, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
I believe. I mean, I know he's a legend, but I don't have much on him. There's a award named after him in college football.
Baseball here, Pee Wee Reese.
One of the best names in MLB history, maybe sports history. Pretty good player too.
Yeah. Dan Uggla.
He used to be one of my favorite players growing up. I like Dan the Man Uggla. Was a good Marlin. Also played for the Braves, maybe a few other teams, but Marlins is where I remember him from.
Jay Buhner.
Wow. Seattle Mariner. Part of those really good Mariner teams. Yep.
Some basketball here. D'Angelo Russell.
I forgot he's from Kentucky. One and done at Ohio State, and had a heck of a game for the Lakers against the Warriors.
Yeah. Allen Houston.
Oh, that's a name I forgot. Longtime New York Knickerbocker with he was with Sprewell and Ewing and Larry Johnson and those good Knick team with Jeff Van Gundy.
Rex Chapman.
Yeah, he's more known for his Twitter account than anything now.
He is. When his Twitter was kind of blowing up, I had no idea he played in the NBA. I didn't know he was an athlete.
I knew he did I used to collect trading cards growing up, especially NBA, and I remember having his card as a member of the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. But I never thought he was very good.
He was good at Kentucky, obviously. Had some decent years in the NBA, and I know he was in Miami Heat at one time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Rajon Rondo.
Hey, Rondo.
I knew that was coming.
A good second round pick out of Kentucky. It was good for the Celtics for a long time. He's bounced around, was a Laker for a little bit. Triple double machine at one time. Always going to get you about 15 assists a night. A lot better pro than I ever thought he would be.
Yeah, you would have asked us 10 years ago, and we would have said, yeah, he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. It's hard to believe. But he's not going to be now. But, yeah. Two more here, random, non-major sport guys. Muhammad Ali.
Greatest boxer of all time. I know you'll have some that say Floyd Mayweather, but flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Mike Tyson, had in his prime, he was the toughest man on the planet probably, but Muhammad Ali, man, he's a cultural icon, not just a boxing icon.
Last one here, Michael Waltrip.
Oh, good old MW. Not as famous as his brother DW, Darrell Waltrip, but Michael Waltrip is a 2-time Daytona 500 winner. For a guy who only won a handful of NASCAR races, he won the biggest NASCAR race in the world twice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
That is going to do it for Word Association this week.
And that is the Word Association segment, which is brought to you by Like It Is Every Week Proforma Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Print 2 Promo Group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815. And I better get you educated while we are here, J-Man, before we run out of time. You need it. I need it. We all need it. Let's see what's happened throughout sports history on May 15th. A lot of horse racing here. Let's see here. A lot of horse racing left. On this day in 1941, Joe DiMaggio, we spoke of him a little bit earlier, he started his 56-game hitting streak in a 13-1 Yankees loss. Don't know who they lost to, but they lost. On this day in 1952, Johnny London became the second jockey to ride 4,000 winners.
Man, it's pretty good.
That's a lot of winning horses. Wonder how many horses he rode in general.
Oh, man, I haven't ridden one.
I haven't either.
We talked about this last week.
We did. On this day in 1973, California Angel Nolan Ryan threw his first no-hitter as the Angels beat the Royals 3-0.
It's pretty good.
Let's see here. Some soccer. On this day, 1991, the Red Sox and White Sox played then the slowest 9-inning game, which lasted 4 hours and 11 minutes.
Man, before pitch clock rules, that was about every Yankee Red Sox game.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. On this day, 1999, the Columbus Crew Stadium, now historic Crew Stadium, was the first MLS soccer stadium constructed in the United States. Let's see here. A lot of PGA players. That's when it was still played in May before it went back to March. And on this day last year, the Pirates won 1-0 over the Cincinnati Reds despite getting no hits.
I remember that. Reds got off to somehow through their first 25 games. It was even worse than what Oakland did this year. Then they kind of played a little better the rest of the year, but I do remember that it was a very fun time to make fun of our buddy Andrew Eiler.
Always is. And that's the On This Day segment, which is brought to you by Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of North Carolina with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed products by visiting their Facebook page, Mooney Woodcrafts, or visiting them on Instagram at Mooney Woodcrafts. And if you let them know that Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your order. So get those signs in. They'll make a perfect Father's Day gift next month.
Yes, sir. The conference finals are set in the NBA. We have the Heat in the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets and the LA Lakers.
The same four that were the finalists in the bubble year a few years ago in the conference finals. But I think the reverse happens. I think the Celtics get past the Heat this time, and I think the Nuggets get past the Lakers this time. And I will say both series go 6 games.
Give me the Lakers.
Of course.
I have a real hard time picking a Denver team.
I know you do.
That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. No,
Maybe you
man.
can't root for the poor Nuggets. They've never made it to the NBA Finals.
Nope. I can't. There's something about Jokic I just do not.
What? You don't like
enjoy.
him? Oh my
I'm from Denver.
gosh!
Don't like him.
Oh, I might have to end this
not
podcast right now. This might be the last episode ever.
Something about him. I don't know.
Oh,
if it's because
man.
you like him so much. That's probably 75%.
I do like him, and I think he plays a fun style. I think the Nuggets play a fun style basketball.
I haven't watched him. I picked the Lakers. The way the Lakers are playing, and it's LeBron. Once a team finally gets past them, which it might be the Nuggets. I have a hard time picking them though, as I said. But the way the Lakers have played here the past month or so, it just feels
LeBron's getting help. He's actually getting help too.
LeBron's gonna get there again. And then in the East, give me the Celtics. Jason Tatum.
Lakers Celtics. We haven't seen that a million times.
Legendary performance from Jason Tatum.
He was amazing.
Over 50 points. That was a real close game at half, and then the Celtics outscored him 33-9.
The MVP didn't show up, and one of the most useless athletes. Yes, he whined afterwards about not getting him, and James can't do it all well. James Harden's one of the most useless superstars of any athlete ever.
For sure.
He no-shows in big games.
Yeah. He's never gotten to a finals. Has even gotten to a conference championship game.
Not that I can remember. Maybe when he was sixth man for the Thunder. Maybe.
Yes.
But not
unless that was his first year in Houston.
Rocket or a net or.
No, he obviously didn't get with them. But completely agree with you. I think he's one of the more overrated superstars ever. He lives at the free throw line. That's where he gets a majority of his points. But again, never really wins.
Nope.
And that's part of his legacy. And now he's forced his way out of a couple franchises, and now he's probably going to try to force his way out of Philadelphia as well.
And Philadelphia's just a team. They're a semifinals team. That's just what they just can't get over the hump. They haven't got over the hump since Iverson back in 2001. Just can't do it.
Yeah, Embiid's a pretty unlikable player in my opinion as well.
He is.
He whined after the game. Me and James don't get any help. Blah blah blah. Well, James has won a lot of games on his own too when he was there in Cleveland.
He has.
He didn't have near the help that Embiid has there in Philadelphia this year. This style of NBA has become unwatchable. It's even I've never been a huge NBA fan, but it feels like it's just getting worse for me. Ratings have gone down. I just don't think people are really tuning in that much.
It's
anymore.
Interesting now. You look at it. You got 8 seed and a 7 seed, and then 2 1 seeds. Because Boston was 2 seeds. Excuse me. Milwaukee was 1 seed. Excuse me. 8 seed beat a 1 seed. But Celtics have been pretty good. Heat, Lakers, they've all been to the finals the last 5 years, except Denver, who never has. So you got that one equalizer that I think a lot of the nation are going to be behind because they want to see the Lakers get knocked off. But Eric Spoelstra is a heck of a coach. That dude's proved me wrong. I read there's been 9 different coaches to lead their team to the finals since 2015. Spoelstra and Kerr are the only 2 remaining of those teams that
that's
got
crazy.
there the first time and then got back. I mean, NBA's firing people left and right. Monty Williams fired.
Yeah. Budenholzer fired.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse fired. All of these guys have won Coach of the Year here the past 5 years.
Doesn't matter. And it's interesting you brought the NBA ratings. I know we're pressed for time here, but TNT's got this big decision to make, and there's a lot of rumors that TNT's not going to bring the NBA back, which would – because it's going to cost so much money because NBA TV rights are enormous. I can't imagine the NBA not having TNT, but that could become reality soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
with that birdie bogey.
Yes, the birdie or bogey question, like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, Zach Greinke became he struck out a guy over the weekend there was 1,000 different batter. He became the 5th MLB pitcher to ever do that. Who are the other 4 to strike out 1,000 different batters during their career? 3
Randy
for
Johnson?
par, 4 for birdie. Randy Johnson is one.
Is Nolan Ryan one of them?
Nolan Ryan's another. There we go.
Oh, he is one. I didn't.
There
think
we
he was
go.
somebody who's around a long time and struck out a lot of batters. Those, I mean, in my defense, those were two pretty easy guys to guess because they struck out a ton of guys. Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux is third. Another one. So you got a par at least. Can you get a birdie here?
There's one more guy, huh?
Yep. So you at least have a one-stroke lead. You could bump it to 2 here if you get this right.
And I have no idea. Guy who pitched for a long time. That's not him, but Pedro.
Good guess. Roger Clemens.
Oh, Josh, same error. I should have gotten that one. That makes me very angry. Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man show. I'll be sure to give Tanner a bogey next week. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and we'll be back at her next Monday.